Cancer, hello, 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 welcome. And oh my gosh, your season is starting this week with I almost want to say winter solstice because I'm going to the southern hemisphere, but it will be the summer solstice if you're in the northern hemisphere. At the start of the week, we're starting on Sunday. The sun is going to be at 25 degrees Gemini. It's so interesting. It moves during the step day, and I just did Aquarius's reading, and I started them at 26 degrees. So I have the feeling that you're going to have an amazing, expansive day on Sunday to where you're able to download some very insightful things from Spirit. You have the sun in your 12th house on this day, and it feels like with the moon in Libra, you're going to be, Four of Earth. I think gaining some stability where you once were like not able to handle this energy coming at you, these feelings of doubt that were coming from within you, and it made you really kind of like strict with yourself. It made you I'm watching my husband drive through the yard and I have a painting like drying out there, and I just like, maybe like you've been held into this state of panic. And the moon does cross the south node overnight and early in the morning. So we'll be letting go, I think, of these fears, these concerns about our ability to be balanced, because you guys are cardinal water. You have a lot of emotional power. So it's like, okay, so this came up. Maybe this is something y'all need to know. We had a mice issue. At first it was an issue, and mice represent caring about things that don't matter. We contained the mice. We got one of them in a cage, and we ended up getting like two more in a cage. And from there, one of them went, they had a fight. Then two of them ended up having a family with like literally 3 generations in this cage. And what it means is that like something that once was an issue, we had an issue about things that don't matter, has become something that we're taking these issues and making them into joyful memories that are silly. Like I make the mice toys out of recycled cardboard and like zip ties and stuff, and it's really cute to see them and how they respond to me setting up my rock music gear. They're like out and playing, and then sometimes when we just want to go in there and hang out with them, they're like, leave us alone. Like they have a very distinct energy and rapport. What animals are showing up for you? Bernadette King is an astrologer, an intuitive animal healer, and she has some potential interpretations. If you are dealing with an animal issue or you're seeing a recurring animal, it might be wanting to tell you something. So we have Pluto in your 8th house. And I have the feeling that this is where you've been so strict with yourself and like super, let me move the camera here, super off with how you're able to kind of open your heart and trust the long-term decisions that you need. And if this is your moon or sun sign, just know that I'm reading it in the house for the rising. So watch your sun sign reading as well, and your rising and your moon reading if you're interested. And just know that you guys are coming into a place where you're able to hold your own and able to come out of a need to like know the end of the story before it even begins. Lalita Tripura Sundari. She's so beautiful. 18. Okay, so see, sense, and tender feel that you are moving deep into the spacious inner temple of your heart. There, a swirling golden light is reaching towards you. That light swirls elegantly, playfully, delightedly in multiple directions. You sense it is powerful, intelligent, kind, and healing. The swirling golden light expands, so it fills your entire energy field and then incapacitates the space around you. It captures all energetic streams of darkness, whisking them away from you, transforming them instantly into delight, happiness, and freedom. Yeah, it feels like you guys were tied to like specific outcomes that you needed to happen before you were willing to make commitments to yourself for your long-term investments. Like you were saying, I need to have this many followers before I release the intel that I'm making a book, or I have to have this much of a bank money in my bank account before I can start working on my book, because it's like you didn't believe that you can even make that amount of money or that you could have this kind of community without having certain things set up. that would definitely come from that South Node in Libra, how you were raised, maternal figure, and then also Black Moon Lilith in your third house. That would make manifesting things really challenging for you, unless if you're willing to open up and say, you know what, I am alive. I get the gift of life today. Two of Water. A relationship that continues to grow closer, forgiveness, the positive resolution of a conflict. So on Monday, Moon Day, Moon will move into Scorpio, which is your fifth house. And it's going to say, okay, romance is starting to build. And maybe it's romance with your life. You're romancing your life. You have more of a lightness around some heartbreak that was really devastating for you to have to go through. And it could have been like repeated outer circumstances showing you how much your heart was broken because you were breaking it, Cancer. Take ownership of that, because when we do that, it's really empowering, and we drop all of the judgments that we've had for other people. And that calls back our soul into our vessel. It makes our life a lot more serendipitous because we have more agency to be ourselves. We're more authentic. We're more sincere. We have the North Node in your 10th house of career as well as Chiron. So there might have been some like mistakes in your beliefs that Neptune at 29 degrees in your 9th house is like making sure that you take ownership of those beliefs that you've had and held on to, maybe even for lifetimes, that you saw in yourself in childhood that made you into a victim, that made you into a victor, and other people were like beneath you or something. Mars at 6 degrees on Moon Day will be saying that we can heal if we're willing to let go and to feel in the moment. I spoke to this in Venus Day of last week, and then Aquarius's reading, that the first arrow hits. This is coming from, I'm believing, a Buddhist monk, and he said that this is something that they practice at their dojo. Like, the first arrow is going to hit your ego, and that is something you have to feel. And after you feel that, you're able to move on. And I was listening to, this is going to be your suggested song for the week, Pink Matter by Frank Ocean. He said, he asked if we sparred until we both grew tired, nothing mattered. I had a little crack in my voice, but whatever. I don't remember what he asked, but he's like, oh gosh, now I have to look it up. Bear with me here. What if the skies and the stars are for show and the aliens are watching live from the purple matter? Since they went quiet, then violent, and we sparred until we both grew tired, nothing mattered. Rap genius, so funny. So funny with the examples. I'm pretty sure that they had like a Rick and Morty clip just now, so I'm going to close that so I can focus on your reading. Watch Rick and Morty. That might be something that helps you. Mars Day, 6 degrees, deja vu. You'll have some deja vu on Mars Day. That's all I'm going to say. And deja vu, I feel like it's a sign that we can ascend. Like, we've experienced something before. Just like you don't want to date someone from a past life. If you have deja vu, it's like you've been here before, choose something different. Find a way to move your story forward. Just a centimeter of progress this week, Cancer. And I feel like you guys are going to come out on top. I forgot to even announce. Like, it's like so much happening for you on the inside. The first 10 degrees of any sign are all internal. So we're going to be squashing fears around our spirituality, around maybe even a religion that we grew up with and we were inundated with it, and it damaged us to the point where we were like, I don't even want to deal with anyone who even claims this religion. But now you can come into new decisions about who you want to be, because your life is going to be very different. Black Moon Lilith is forming an aspect with the sun. Squares the sun. And it's going to be asking us to take a new action on Mercury Day. Moon in Scorpio also netting to an 8. We're going to have to feel and then receive something from our intelligence, from the beyond the veil. Mars will be at 7 degrees, so it's going to be a very heightened day. Dakshina, let's see what she's got to say, because I feel like she's going to be coming in hot on this Mercury Day. She will create order from chaos. Her 4 arms are raised to bestow blessings and to wield the divine weaponry necessary to protect the soul. No matter how dramatic or intense the scenario may appear to be, it shall become a little more than a passing memory and shall not have any negative bearing upon your future. So you can even have like a spiritual crisis on Wednesday, Mercury Day, and you just have to get into a state of where it's like, okay, well, these questions can't be answered from the same space that created the problem. So it would be something to where you need to take yourself out on a date, go for a coffee, go for an ice cream, go for a hike, find a way to busy your hands on Mercury Day because of that Jupiter at 5 degrees Gemini on this day. One thing that I learned in church was that an idle mind is the devil's playbook. And it's like, I found that whenever people have some stuff to say to me, if my hands are busy, I don't have the even wherewithal to respond to them. I just focus on myself. And then the people naturally get caught in their own stuff. It happened recently on a class that I'm in to where someone like, this person just has so many issues with me, and I was busy working off camera, and they said something really dumb. When I went back to check what they said, they had deleted it because they realized they saw themselves. I didn't have to do anything. Trauma Nagamo might have even been there for me at that time to make this person see how clearly they were out of integrity. And it could be coming up for you. It could be like a client. It could be North Node and Chiron in your 10th house. It could be a client that's been giving you a lot of drama for whatever reason, and you're just like, you know what? I'm really busy right now. I'm going to take myself out for a coffee. You could be working remotely with them, and they don't need to know what you're doing at all times. They aren't paying you for that. And if they are, you could still have boundaries because Pluto's in your 8th house, telling you to have those boundaries to make sure that you feel good because you're Cancer. And if you don't feel good, no one else feels good, Cancer. Let's face it. All right, Jupiter Day. Jupiter's going, it's the heavyweight. It's going at 5 degrees. Uranus has moved. There are things I feel like for you this week, you're going to be like, whoa, you're in a new reality. That's what's coming up. It's like you have changed and shifted so dynamically that you're looking around, you're getting deja vu, you're seeing things in a new way. You feel like you could call back your energy because you've stopped judging people, and maybe you're even listening to this and it's allowing for you to say, okay, all these people I'm judging, I have them with me. If I let them go, then that part of me that's with them can come back too. We'll all come into a reconciliation. Moon moves into Sagittarius, and then with Jupiter at 5 degrees Gemini, it's like we're able to kind of grow up. Our daily life is going to have an improved wherewithal. The moon is also at 8 degrees Taurus. I feel like that's a square between the moon and Mars. Let's see. Quincunx. And a quincunx is, I believe, a 150-degree angle, so it's about opening up to receive some maybe like information that would usually be hard to swallow, but also taking back this like detached perspective that you rightfully get to have, Cancer. You don't have to be attached to every single outcome, especially if you have a building, growing faith that things will always work out for you, that everything is working out for you. And it's like maybe something that's a hard pill to swallow actually frees you up so that you could take that vacation you need to take to meet your beloved, so that you can honor the fact that you deserve to start writing your book now versus 10 years from now when you've finished your degree. Sorry. Keep moving up and down. So Uranus at 25 degrees Taurus, it might have been there from the start of the week, but here it is. Bees returning to their hive. Thematic worlds coming around again, just as before, just like always. The highest and the best, maintained and sustained beautifully, impeccably, superlatively. Knowing inside that what counts, what is essential, is to abide, to be. You are a vast world unto yourself, an extraordinary network of intersecting dynamics. But the witness consciousness is blissfully sitting back in a restful perch, letting everything go by. And in the very center of this dispassion and wakeful scrutinizing, one indwells a Buddha realization attained by hard work in many lives, now being your innermost identity in identityless ways. And that's what I feel like the magic is on Jupiter days. Like, all of a sudden, oh, and now you have another song. One of my favorites by the Flaming Lips, Suddenly Everything Has Changed. And it's like you're looking around at a place where you might have felt so much heartbreak or so much drama, and you are different. So you can't get entangled in the same ways that you once did. Your energy's not going to get pulled and yank you along like a Rottweiler that you're like dog walking and then come back and bite you. It's like, no, you have a real sense of balance and control over your life. That I believe that the North Node, the South Node in Gemini in Libra is purging from you, and then Jupiter in Gemini is expanding this confidence in your spirituality, in your intuition, in your ability to weave through life rather than get caught in a tangle. Venus Day. I want to pound my fist on the table. You see this computer shaking? Ah! It's an earthquake. I hope not. Sun is at 0 degrees Cancer, so it enters your sign. You have to protect your heart. You have to protect the goals that you're going for. Be silly. Go see a comedian on Friday. Take yourself out on a date. It's the summer solstice. I can't believe I just did that so dramatically, but I got all my Leo placements. I can't help it. Moon will be at 22 degrees Sagittarius, so it really could feel like you're taking like the blue and red pill at the same time and you're tripping out, but it's something that's like you kind of needed to step into this. Like you really have to honor and own where things are falling into synchronicity without you having to do a lot of work, where your reputation is exceeding your expectations. People are like telling others, their peers, their colleagues, even like businesses that have they hired you to do work for another business, and they're like, yeah, this came from this person, because they're like, we need more of this, we need like 10 times more. And then all of a sudden you have to hire people, you have to like, your plate is like, whoa, where did all this come from? Like now I actually need a vacation. But I feel like you're going to be in integrity with who you're becoming, and it's going to, in your career, who you're becoming is taking on a new aroma, like a new stride, a new sensitivity and attunement. You're very attuned. Venus is at 5 degrees Cancer, and Chiron nets to a 5 on this day. So it's like you're able to really exhale, like your shoulders can go back. You're not like hunched over your computer, like working like you might have once had to until the 15th hour to like work with people who were never happy with what it is that you were doing, because when we dissolve the other, we come to see the self. And if you've had clients that were nightmares, it's because at some point within your work progress, you were like, this isn't good enough. This looks horrible. This is a disaster. And I caught myself yesterday doing a very similar thing when I was installing works, and I had to rewrite those things. And then someone on the outside, right after I started rewriting that, they affirmed me in a way that was like, wow, I'm really in the right place with the right people. So affirm that for yourself and see what comes through. Venus at 5 degrees Cancer. A trapdoor under a rug. Getting lost and getting found. Shadowed by self all the way. Sent upon a cycle of radical externalization and almost being able to pull it off. Yet you are shadowed, haunted, bugged, and sabotaged by the strangest things. Fate speaks loud and clear and says you're doing all of this for a purpose, and your expression is pushing so far outward for good reason. I need to see aspects to Venus right now. The sun is conjuncting Venus, 4-degree orb, so our vibe is like shaking us out of any holding patterns, any stagnancy. Venus is sextiling Mars. We're believing in the actions that we're taking now. And I would have to say that these actions we're taking now feel really good, Cancer. Like, you know who you're not anymore. And that puts you in a place where it's like, you believe more in the people who are showing you attention, and people who, and like a person who wants to date you. You're like, oh, well, they have a good reason. Of course they would want to date me, and not like, what did they do wrong in their last 3 relationships? They must be a failure. Like, that's something that I have come through the other side of. Being married to someone who's been married multiple times and starting to see like, whoa, this person is like baked perfect for me. And On Love by Kahlil Gibran is a poem that I would also suggest you read. Cancer, you're getting a lot of information from me this week. 2 songs and a poem. I'm going to put it all in the description. On Saturn Day, after your holy summer solstice, like, whoa, you guys better go to a body of water on Venus Day. Go see a comedian and then go to a body of water or dance in the rain. Why is Cancer getting all these songs? Oh my gosh, I gotta write them down. All right, on Saturday, Saturn is at 19 degrees and 22 seconds. Is it forming any aspects? Well, Neptune is sextiling Pluto. So there's this feeling of, I would say even defiance over any ways that your career might have been echoing in your head, and you're like, you know what? Now I see. I was being judgmental towards myself at that time. I was really struggling to keep myself emotionally balanced. But now you have tools. You have a great gym. You have a mentor. You have one of those therapists you could access online. You have community in ways that you had previously like cut yourself off from because you were judging yourself so hard. And I feel like during the course of this week, Cancer, once the moon enters Sagittarius, that's whenever you're going to see through what you've been doing in your day-to-day life that's holding you back from this greatness that you really are coming into. Cancer, check out the daily readings. Thank you for subscribing. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being here, liking my video, showing me that love. Please purchase my Book of Fortune, or at least sign up for my newsletter to access the read-only version. It's something that I'm still refining, I'm still working on, and every bit of feedback helps. Just know that I'm sending you all so much support, encouragement, and I hope that you have an amazing summer solstice. Speak to you soon. Bye.